Belfast Worm Farm, episode 31.
How are you, Oliver?
Good.
And how have our worms been?
Good.
We've done lots of experiments and our worms have been growing and it's all been good, hasn't it?
Yes.
Anything else? What's Daddy got?
A lab coat.
Daddy's got a green lab coat, pretty cool. Thank you, Peter, for sending it to me. It's pretty awesome. We're going to get our name put on here, Belfast Worm Farm logo on there, so yeah, thanks Peter. Right, we're going to check our worms because we haven't done that for a while. We've on purposely neglected them because in 3 weeks time we'll be heading off to Florida for our summer holidays. Yay!
Yay!
And we wanted to see what would happen if we left our worms. So some of the bins we haven't touched for 2 weeks on purpose to see what would happen. We fed them what we thought was enough food for 2 weeks, so we'll just check on the worms and we'll let you know how that gets on. If you've been following our food experiments, you would have seen that two weeks ago we put a whole iceberg in one of the worm bins, and nothing's happened, but we'll check on that as well. So yeah, so we're going to be quite busy during this episode, so stay tuned guys, and yeah, thumbs up. So this is one of the worm bins that we've left for 2 weeks. We haven't fed it for 2 weeks just to see what would happen. There wasn't many worms in here, so if they died of starvation it wouldn't have been a major problem, but there's very little cardboard in here. There's 2 worms having a cuddle. I'll just fluff this bin up slightly and just see what there is. There are some little worms in here, but nothing, no more than what there was. There was maybe a handful of worms in here, and I'm still seeing worms in there, quite big ones too. So yeah, so the first experiment was a success. There's very little food in here left, so we will have to feed and add crust, eggshell and things like that, but yeah, pleasantly surprised by that. So yeah, that's cool. I did lots of cardboard and what we call our worm food to it, which is a blend of porridge oats, eggshell, Weetabix, a few peanuts. What else do you put in it?
Water!
Okay then, let's spray it all over. So we're just dampening down the top of here because it looks a bit brilliant. Thanks very much, Oliver. That's that done. Brilliant. In this worm bin there's no worms in there now. We actually sold the worms in here, so in here is just a tiny bit of uneaten cardboard and some amazing worm cast. So when we get the sieve to sieve this out properly, because the sieve that we brought just wasn't fine enough, when we sieve this out we'll get an idea of how many cocoons and uneaten food there is. But yeah, we're really impressed with these castings. Don't know if you can see that, but it's awesome castings. So there we go. So this is worm bin 13 that we put the banana in 2 weeks ago, and then last week we added pancake. The pancake's just gone mouldy and rarely eaten. The last bit of banana is pretty much devoured inside and out, and there's worms underneath it there. So yeah, mouldy pancake isn't a very good one for the worms to eat at all. Let's just have a rummage around. Yeah, the worms are there's lots of mites in this one. There's some big worms in there though, besides that big juicy worm there. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take the pancake out of this one now because it doesn't seem to be eaten, and then we're going to add food, cardboard, and then fluff it up, and then that one should be good to go again. So yeah, after fluffing there you can see how big the worms are in this bin. So Oliver, can I have your hand? Hold your hand. That's it. That's them on Oliver's hand. Massive worms. Wriggling away.
They're just falling off now.
Cool. Right, drop them down then. So with this bin we're just going to add some cardboard to it only. It's very, very damp and there's not much else left in it, so we're just going to do that. And then we're going to add some food. Just enough like that. And then we're going to fluff this bin up just to get that cardboard and that food mixed through for the worms to munch on. There you go, sorted. So this is the worm bin that we put the whole iceberg in. As you can see, very little of it gone. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to ruffle it up and break it up into smaller pieces. There is signs that the worms have been eating it because there's worms have got inside. See where the worm castings are in there? The worms have crawled in there. What we're going to do is rip this up into like that. Still put it back in the middle though. Sorry, I can't remember who it was that suggested it, but someone had suggested about ripping it in half and then trying it that way. So thank you for your suggestion, but I can't remember who you are, but I will put a link to your name in the bottom. Right, so we ripped it up and then fluff it a little bit, and then we're going to put some cardboard on that as well, just to help break that down. I'll spray a tiny bit of water on it. And then bubble wrap lid to it. Brilliant. So we've checked down that side and up this side, and now we're just going to check some of these worm bins over here. So this was our mushroom bin, as we called it, because Harry, look at the worms underneath there. See when the worms are on the top like that and there's very little food? This is one of the ones that we neglected, so there's hardly any food in there, and the worms are on the surface looking hungry. This was the mushroom bin, so it had weird mushrooms growing on the cardboard. We're actually going to get rid of this bit of cardboard now because there's not much. The worms have eaten it, but what we'll do is we'll just make sure there's no worms crawling in it, but actually it looks like there is a few. So we'll get rid of that and we'll check it and stuff, and then we'll add cardboard and what else, guys?
Crushed up eggshell.
Yeah, but what I'm going to do is we're going to fluff it first of all. There's what's left of a worm snug there. Look at all the worms in there, guys.
Ooh, very wriggly.
So lots of worms.
Wiggly worm.
Right, so just everywhere in this bin is just full of decent sized worms. Right, we're going to add cardboard. And then some. And that. Excuse my big head in the screen there, and we're going to put some eggshell in. Dampen that down a bit. And then we're going to ruffle it up again, just to get some of that cardboard and eggshell in. There you go. What worm wouldn't be happy with that? This is another bin that we've neglected for 2 weeks to see what would happen. There are worms in there. There are worms in there, as you can see. Some big juicy ones. That's on my adult hand, so you can imagine how big that worm is. Looks awesome. So yes, we're just going to do the same with this one. Feed, paper and our worm food, and then give it some eggshell, because worms need the eggshell. Oliver, why do worms need eggshell?
Because it will.
It helps them eat the food, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then calcium helps them make babies, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
With this bin here, I drink a lot of peppermint tea, so I've been bringing home the peppermint tea bags, and we've put it in some of the other bins and it's worked well, so we're just going to put it in this one and see how well it goes with this one. This bin is absolutely loaded with worms, so just going to give it a quick feed and then get this one back in to with the rest of the wormeries up here. Today that we're checking, as you can see, the cardboard that we use now is coming in multicolours, which looks pretty cool. So yeah, so it's been good. We've learnt a lot by not feeding our worms, so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 3 weeks we're away in Florida. Well, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we have in making it. Our worms behind us are coming along really nicely, and yeah, they are a bit of a test guinea pig, if I'm honest, because of the experiments we're carrying out on them, but we are learning more and more all the time. If you got any questions you'd like to ask, we are going to do a live Q&A, so get your questions in. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you want to see more of our videos, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking below. If you want notifications, hit that little bell, because that's pretty cool. Until next time, thanks very much. Bye bye.